I remember when she was born, big new addition to the family, and we just have a very young sister here.
Megyn Kelly didn't just ask a question about Meghan Markle. She lobbed a grenade. Her jab was ruthless. Is Meghan really 42, or is she much older than the palace and Hollywood want us to...
Episodes, it's very obvious. You're so dumb. We're not all as dumb as you think we are.
That single shot ripped open one of the ugliest rumors shadowing Meghan's image, a whisper that refuses to die.
She's absolutely ruthless. Is Meghan...
Because here's the thing, when it comes to Meghan, nothing lines up. Her timeline plays out like a Hollywood script with missing pages, rewritten scenes, and more edits than a Netflix reality show. The woman who preaches authenticity is accused of concealing the one detail no royal title can disguise, her real age. Every time you look closer, the cracks widen. Classmates seem older, group photos feel off, records have been tweaked, official documents quietly updated. Meghan smiles through it all like it's coincidence, but the deeper you dig, the less it looks accidental. This isn't harmless chatter. It feels staged from the beginning. We're talking curated records, carefully timed photos, and a pattern that looks more like a cover-up than a quirk. Meghan has built an empire on image, yet the foundation might not even match the blueprint. And that's the kicker. She wants the world to see her as the fresh-faced Hollywood star who married into royalty. But what if the greatest performance wasn't on Suits? What if it's her own life story? Stick around. Because when the rumors, receipts, and records line up, Meghan's biggest role might not be Duchess, wife, or actress. It might be the woman who staged her entire identity. It all starts with one photo, a group shot from Northwestern University's salsa club. At first glance, it's harmless, a bunch of smiling faces frozen in early 2000s nostalgia. But look closer, and it feels like stepping into a glitch in the Matrix. Most of the people in that photo were born in the early 1970s, which means they'd be in their early 50s today. Yet right there in the middle is Meghan, officially born in 1981, supposedly almost a decade younger. So why does she blend right in, as if the math never mattered? It's like a 10th grader sneaking into a college reunion and pretending they belong. The ages don't align, the timelines don't align, and Meghan acts like no one will notice. But people have noticed, and that salsa club snapshot has been treated as the smoking gun Meghan never wanted out there. It doesn't look like a quirky throwback, it looks like proof. And the photo is just the opening crack. One suspicious shot could be brushed off as coincidence, but the pattern repeats again and again. Alumni records, reunion photos, old event listings. Meghan always seems like the odd one out. Everyone else fits the era, she doesn't. It paints a picture of someone parachuting into a timeline that wasn't hers, planting herself into groups she shouldn't fit into, and banking on the world not doing the math. One gap might be a mistake, but when the same strange age misalignments show up over and over, it starts to look like strategy. That's the brutal truth Megyn Kelly highlighted. Meghan isn't just unlucky with timelines, she's the architect of them. It looks like she's been chiseling away at her biography for years, shaving off birthdays like a Hollywood actress trimming wrinkles from a headshot. Except Hollywood can hide those edits. The monarchy can't. Once you marry into royalty, every receipt gets examined, and Meghan's receipts, they're a disaster. What she wanted was a flawless fairy tale. What she left is a trail of contradictions that won't go away. And the ugliest piece of all, the whispers of an entirely different birth year are still ahead. The official story says Meghan Markle was born on August 4th, 1981. But if you believe that, you probably also believe Hollywood stars never touch Botox, because the whispers about her being born years earlier, possibly in 1975, have been swirling for decades, long before she became a duchess. And that's not just a slip of paperwork. That's a rewrite of nearly half a decade. If Meghan was born in 1975, she isn't in her early 40s. She's pushing 50, and that completely shatters the image she spent her career selling. Think about it. The young actress chasing a dream? Gone. The modern, vibrant royal bringing fresh energy to the monarchy? Exposed as branding. Instead, it looks like a woman trimming her age year by year, carefully curating a younger persona the way headshots are airbrushed in Hollywood. But here's where it gets worse. These doubts didn't originate from bitter trolls online. They appeared in alumni chatter, gossip forums, even tabloid columns long before Harry was in the picture. The skepticism has been around for decades. That makes it harder to dismiss as post-royal conspiracy. And it comes down to one brutal point: normal people don't have 3 different possible birth years floating around in public record. Megyn does, and every one of them makes her older than she claims, undermining the fresh, young outsider role she wanted the world to buy. Hollywood can get away with age games. Casting directors look the other way, but the monarchy runs on records, tradition, and lineage. If Megyn really shaved years off her life, she didn't just mislead Hollywood. She misled Buckingham Palace. She misled the world. If the age rumors weren't messy enough, Archie's birth certificate made them worse. When he was born in 2019, the original record looked ordinary. Megyn's full first and middle names listed alongside her new royal title. Nothing unusual. But just weeks later, the document was quietly amended. Suddenly, her personal names disappeared. The only identifier left was Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. And the world asked the obvious question: who alters their child's legal record like it's an Instagram caption? Birth certificates are supposed to be permanent. They don't get rewritten to fit someone's aesthetic. Yet under Megyn's watch, hers did. And for critics, that edit became symbolic. If she could tweak her son's paperwork without hesitation, what else might she have reshaped? School records, alumni lists, even her own birth year? The fallout was immediate. Megyn tried to spin the change, suggesting it was palace protocol, but the damage was done. Once you see a legal document adjusted under her name, the idea of her airbrushing her past doesn't feel far-fetched. It feels like habit. Because here's the brutal truth: documents are trust. And once people see them being altered, trust evaporates. Archie's certificate didn't just raise eyebrows. It reinforced the narrative that Megyn doesn't just control her image, she controls the paperwork too. Most people have a messy trail of old snapshots, yearbooks, college candids, awkward party pics that live forever online. But with Megyn, her past doesn't follow that natural pattern. Her photos appear in carefully timed waves, vanish without explanation, and then re-emerge only when they serve her narrative. Critics call it image management disguised as nostalgia. Think about it, school photos don't just magically pop back into circulation when public pressure mounts. Yet with Megyn, they always seem to arrive at suspiciously convenient moments, like someone behind the curtain is deciding what the world gets to see and what stays hidden. The effect is unnerving. Instead of reinforcing credibility, the selective releases make her look staged. A missing year here, a suspicious gap there. Her history feels curated like a PR campaign rather than a real life. And every time one of those gaps surfaces, the age rumors roar back. Because when you control your photos this tightly, it screams insecurity. If her past were spotless, the evidence would flow naturally. Instead, it looks stitched together, piece by piece, as if she's terrified of reality leaking out. And in the court of public opinion, that fear fuels speculation. With Megyn, every resurfaced image isn't just a throwback, it's a clue. And the missing ones, they've become the loudest evidence of all. If Megyn thought editing a birth certificate was risky, her lawsuits turn suspicion into wildfire. Every time she drags her family or they drag her into court, the age rumors come roaring back. Because lawsuits don't just argue, they dig. They unearth receipts. Take Samantha Markle's defamation case. The moment it hit headlines, the whispers reignited. If Megyn could allegedly misrepresent her own sister, what else had she bent or erased? Cue the chatter about timelines, missing photos, and conflicting birthdays. Overnight, Megyn wasn't the polished duchess fighting for truth. She was the unreliable sibling with a history that didn't add up. And here's the cycle. Megyn thinks legal action will silence critics, but it always backfires. Courtrooms shine light into corners she'd rather keep dark. Instead of closing the door on speculation, her lawsuits pry it wide open. Every headline fuels more digging, and every digging session drags the same rumors back into circulation. It's a cycle she can't escape. The moment Megyn sues, the internet resurfaces old photos, recalculates timelines, and dissects the gaps. What was once a rumor becomes a permanent echo chamber. She may think she's shutting down detractors, but in reality, she's keeping the machine alive. Because rumors don't just fade once they take root, they multiply, and Megyn has become the perfect storm for them, a woman whose actions, edits, and contradictions hand her critics fresh ammunition on a silver platter. In the end, every legal move isn't a shield, it's gasoline, and Megyn's the one lighting the match. The danger with rumors is simple. Once they take hold, they don't die, they evolve. Meghan Markle has become the perfect case study. One blog drops a headline, another adds a source, an old photo resurfaces, and suddenly speculation feels like fact. Her life has turned into a conveyor belt of scandal. One whisper feeds the next until the narrative grows legs of its own, independent of reality. And the more Meghan tries to silence it, the more oxygen she gives it. Every gap in her story becomes a blank the public rushes to fill. Was she born in 1981 or 1975? Why do her documents change? Where are the missing years of photos? People don't wait for official answers. They connect the dots themselves. And in the age of social media, perception is reality. The result? Meghan's image is toxic. She's no longer just the Duchess of Sussex. She's the Duchess of Suspicion, the woman whose past always feels like it's hiding something. And once the internet brands you that way, it's nearly impossible to scrub it off. Let's strip away the speculation and face the nightmare head-on. What if Meghan Markle really is older than she claims? If those alternative birth years are accurate, then her official biography isn't sloppy, it's a calculated lie. That would mean missing years weren't accidents, but deliberate edits carved out of her past. Suddenly, the fresh young actress chasing a dream becomes something else entirely, a woman trying to break into Hollywood well past the industry's cutoff age. The modern youthful duchess bringing new energy to the monarchy becomes a branding strategy, not reality. And here's the brutal twist. Hollywood lying about age is common, but Meghan isn't just an actress anymore. She married into one of the world's most tradition-bound institutions. If she really doctored her age, she didn't just fool casting directors. She fooled Buckingham Palace. She fooled the monarchy. She fooled millions who believed in the fairy tale. That's not gossip. That's history rewritten with a smile. And if even part of it is true, Meghan isn't the victim of rumor. She's the author of one of the slickest personal rebrands we've ever seen. Line up the evidence. The salsa club photo that doesn't match her age, the repeating timeline glitches, the whispers of multiple birth years, Archie's edited birth certificate, the curated photo releases, and the lawsuits that keep dragging the same skeletons back into view. One slip could be excused. This many? It stops looking like coincidence and starts looking like a strategy and not a convincing one. Meghan built her empire on image, but the foundation looks patched together, stitched with cracks that only widen under scrutiny. Whether she's 42, 46, or older, the bigger question is this: what else has been hidden? If her age is this questionable, how many other secrets are waiting in the shadows? That's why Meghan's story no longer feels like a royal fairy tale. It feels like a carefully staged illusion unraveling in real time, and the more she fights to control the narrative, the more the narrative slips away. And here's the kicker. If this age scandal looks bad, wait until you hear what's next. In our last video, we exposed whispers about Meghan's alleged secret daughter, an even bigger bombshell that, according to insiders, blindsided Harry himself.